The Galaxy S23 and the Pixel 7 are two of the best Android phones on the market right now, and in this video I am going to be putting them to the test. I have been using both these phones every day for the last week, and I am spoiled for choice on what phone to use permanently because there are some features that I love on the S23 and there are some that I love on the Pixel 7. So let's see which is the better phone and the better value for money. Exciting, isn't it? Let's go. Let's start things off with the S23. Now, just like the S22 Ultra from last year, the S23 now has the same floating camera design. This gives all three devices a more uniform look. However, I still prefer the design of the S22. Even though the design is somewhat boring now, the physical aspect of the S23 is still top tier and what appeals to me mostly. It is 6.1 inches tall with Gorilla Glass Victus 2 at the front and at the back, which makes it hard for it to break or even have any significant scratches. Now, even though these phones are tough as hell right now, you should always get a protective case just in case anything happens. Now, the back of the phone is where the build quality shines the most. It has a smooth matte finish in lavender that complements the aluminum rails all around the phone. The right side holds the power button and the volume buttons, and with the shape and height difference you can distinguish both in the dark with ease. Now, at the bottom you have a single USB-C port that is standard and stereo speakers. Whereas on the Pixel 7, it is a 6.3-inch phone with a glossy back and an aluminum frame. Now, the glass frame will allow a lot more smudges and marks, but the snow white or the lemon green color or lemongrass color right here hides that a lot better than the default obsidian black. Now, the Pixel 7 is just thin enough to give it a better grip and comfort due to the aluminum frame and weight, which is a lot lighter this year at 197 grams. It still has the horizontal camera bar from last year with visual improvements to that area, making it an overall better design than the Pixel 7. Now, just like the S23, the Pixel 7 has the volume button on the right side, a single USB-C port at the bottom, and stereo speakers that are really on par with each other. So with a better overall design with its unique camera bar, the Pixel 7 will take this round. Moving on to the display, the S23 is a 1080p AMOLED 2X with a smooth 120Hz display. All sides are symmetrical with a single hole punch camera in the center that utilizes its screen real estate. Now, the 1080p might disappoint some, but when compared with other high-end phones, you won't see much of a difference, trust me. And for that retail price, I think Samsung did pretty well with this display. Also, there is a significant upgrade with its brightness. The S23 now has a max brightness of 750 nits, which is a lot brighter than a lot of flagships in this price range. Now, I have no issues when navigating my phone outside, but if by any chance you can't navigate your phone outside, which I highly doubt, the S23 also has a vision booster to help enhance your experience, but majority of the time you might not even need that much brightness. Now, on the Pixel 7, the display is improved from the Pixel 6, but it still lags behind the S23. Now, when compared, the bezels here are much more visible with also having a single hole punch camera in the center, but it is slightly bigger than the S23. A downside though is that the display is a 90Hz refresh rate. It does make scrolling smooth, but it's not as great as having a 120Hz refresh rate on the S23. Now, even though the brightness on the Pixel 7 was improved to 1400 nits, the S23 blows it out of the water in that regard. Now, when it comes to securing your phone, both the Pixel 7 and the S23 can be unlocked through a fingerprint scanner and face unlock. The S23 has an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, while the Pixel 7 has an optical fingerprint reader. Now, with the ultrasonic, the S23 has a better, more secure reader that also works with wet or dirty hands, and it's also very responsive. So with a better display, little to no bezels, and better security, the S23 will take this round. Now, so far there is a stalemate between the Pixel 7 and the Galaxy S23, but there is still time for a winner, especially regarding the battery life. Now, the S23 battery capacity has improved this year. It is now 3900 mAh of battery from last year's 3700. But with a decent battery upgrade, a 120Hz refresh rate, and a 1750 nits of max brightness, a lot of people are going to be thinking the battery will be the same as last year, and you'll be very correct, kind of. Now, it's not S22 bad, but it's not great either. Now, I take it off the charger by 7:30 to go work out, and it uses a lot of power. Now, by the time I get back, say 2 hours later, it's about 85% or even 80%. Yes, I know I am a power user, but so far the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chip, it's not exactly optimizing the battery as I thought it would. Now, on most days it dies around 5 p.m. with LTE, while on Wi-Fi it can get about maybe an hour or 2 hours more. While on the Pixel 7, it is still hands down the best battery that I have used on any Android phone. It has a battery capacity of 4,355 milliamp hours of battery, and it has consistently given me about 7 to 9 hours of screen on time since I've been testing both these phones. Now I start my day pretty early and end my day about 11 p.m. with 30% of battery left. And my standby time has also improved. With using a lot of apps from Twitter and watching videos and many other things, it took an hour for my battery to drop all the way to 99%, which is pretty amazing still. So with having a better battery, the Pixel 7 will definitely take this round. So it's 2023 and we have new SoCs in both these phones and different Android skins with One UI and Material U. Now the software experience differs. One UI is great and it's still not my favorite Android skin at all, but I can admit that it has made improvements over the years and has grown on me kind of so far. Now I can say Samsung still has the most consistent version of Android since I started using this. Performance has been really strong with the S23, it's very snappy with the high refresh rate, and if you play games you will be very satisfied. That being said, it's still early days with the S23, so we'll revisit this in about 90 days to 6 months. Now one of the best things about One UI is the ability to be very customizable. I have a lock screen widget to see if I have any schedules or alarms, and you can design it to whatever you prefer. If you're also into applying themes and not installing Nova Launcher, Samsung has different themes that you can choose from, especially when changing icons if the stock icons are not really your taste. Now I'm a very simple person when it comes to my home screen. I prefer a colorful wallpaper with about 3 to 4 essential icons on the front, and I then color code my apps for easier access. Now the Pixel experience coupled with Material U on Android 13 is a joy to have. Performance has been pretty great without any hiccups, and even though the Tensor G2 chip is basically the Snapdragon 865, it does way more than just the raw power like a lot of people want you to believe. The smarter, and I emphasize on smarter, Tensor G2 will bring better and faster processing to your photos. It will also bring better battery optimizations, video improvements to the camera, and improvements to the already brilliant text-to-speech feature. Now from the vertical app drawer, the wallpaper adaptations, the widget system, and of course the little quality of life changes with the Google Assistant, if I could pick one Android skin to represent the entire Android ecosystem, it will definitely be the Pixel experience. With that being said, the Pixel 7 will take this round when it comes to performance and of course software. Finally, the most important category on this list, the cameras. The cameras on both these phones differ a whole lot. Now the S23 has the same camera specs as last year, which means we're arguably getting the same image quality when we take pictures, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It is a 50 megapixel wide angle lens, a 10 megapixel telephoto lens with 30x zoom, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens. Whereas the Pixel 7 has a dual camera setup with a 50 megapixel main wide angle lens and a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens with no telephoto. Now on the front, it has an improved 11 megapixel camera that shoots video in 1080p at 30 and 60 frames per second. Now during the day, pictures from both these phones come out really well. It's great in terms of color and vibrancy, but I noticed the S23 became a bit saturated and was not as sharp as the Pixel 7, especially when taking pictures of nature and the sky. Now it looked a bit artificial if I'm being honest. Now the ultra wide on both the Pixel 7 and the S23 are great, but there is so much more detail and color balance on the Pixel 7, making it better for pictures. Now the S23 kind of, and I mean kind of, also shines with its video. It shoots in 8K, which the Pixel does not, but at the same time shooting in 8K is great, but there are not a lot of 8K devices in the world, so you won't be able to see the full effect. So it's better to just shoot in 4K, which the Pixel 7 excels in. Now when it comes to who has the better camera, the Pixel 7 will take this round because it has a better camera than the S23 in terms of its wide angle lens and its ultra wide pictures. Now if you're also into video though, both these phones are great in that regard. Now with all that being said, the clear winner here is the Pixel 7. And a little bonus, it is $200 cheaper than the S23. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. My name is KJOS, and I will catch you guys in the next one where I talk all things tech.